Your one-step action tip that I want you to implement to help move you in the right direction towards reaching your fitness and fat loss goals is every single meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter, every single meal, I want you to consume a serving of Hey, how's it going? It is your muscle building and fat loss coach, Lee Hayward. And in today's video, we are going to cover another part of your first step to fat loss. And this is a new series that I'm putting together covering simple one-step actions that you can start taking immediately. As in, as soon as this video is over, you can start implementing what you learn in the video to start moving towards your fitness and fat loss goals. Now, if you haven't already done so, make sure to go back and check out the previous parts of this video series. I'll have them linked up in the cards, and I'll also have them linked down in the description below. So if you haven't done so, go back and check out those previous videos. But in today's video, we're going to cover another first step to fat loss. And this one is a nutrition-related tip. And it's about the most important nutrient that you need for building muscle, burning fat, and just improving your overall health and fitness in general, and that is protein. Protein is what your body is made of. All your body tissues are made of protein. Your muscle tissue, your hair, your skin, your nails, your tendons, your joints, your ligaments, like everything is made of protein, and your body is always in a state of protein turnover, protein synthesis, where it's breaking down protein and rebuilding. So you need to provide adequate protein throughout the day from your diet in order to ensure that you're in a positive nitrogen balance and that your body is building and replenishing the protein, and it's not breaking down your own muscle tissue to get the protein that it needs. So you want to consume that from dietary sources. And this is actually going to help not only with building muscle, but burning fat. Because protein is a very thermogenic macronutrient, meaning that it takes a lot of energy for your body to break down and utilize protein, more so than it does to break down and utilize carbohydrates, and more so than it does to break down and utilize dietary fat. So we have the three macronutrients. You got your protein, your carbs, and your fat. Protein takes the most energy to digest and utilize, and it's actually the most satiating to eat. It's very hard to binge and overeat protein, where it's easy to binge and overeat carbohydrates and overeat fat, especially processed carbohydrates and processed fats. And I'll just give you an example of this. Imagine sitting down to a plate of chicken breasts. Like, how many chicken breasts can you eat before you feel full? Like, if you're really hungry, you'll eat a chicken breast. Maybe you'll eat 2. If you're famished, you might eat 3. And then after that, you're like, man, I'm tired of chicken. I don't want to eat anymore. But imagine I put down a plate of donuts or a bag of potato chips or even a big plate of pasta or something like that. Could you eat a bag of potato chips or a plate of pasta? Chances are you could, and you probably wouldn't even feel full or something, like a bag of potato chips especially, right? Those are designed to make you want to eat more, right? The food companies, they actually design the foods with the right combination of taste and texture and crunch and flavor so that you eat one and it just makes you want to eat another one and another one and another one. Next thing you know, you're scraping the bottom of the bag and you're still not satisfied. But when it comes to natural foods, especially natural protein foods, like your meat, your chicken, your fish, your eggs, your dairy, those good, high quality proteins, they have natural eating satiation built in there. Like, you just can't endlessly eat chicken breast, or you just can't sit down and endlessly eat eggs or endlessly eat steaks or something like that. Like, you get full of those foods. You get full and satiated. Like, nobody's going to go on a big old chicken breast binge where, like, oh man, I went on I started binging on chicken breasts and I couldn't stop. Like, it's very unlikely. There's probably a few exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, it ain't going to happen. But you'll see people go on a cake, cookie, ice cream, or potato chip binge, or even a carbohydrate binge, like a big plate of pasta or something like that, and just, wolf down excessive amounts of calories because those foods are easy to eat and they don't provide the same level of satiation. So my tip for you, your one-step action tip that I want you to implement to help move you in the right direction towards reaching your fitness and fat loss goals is every single meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter, every single meal, I want you to consume a serving of good, high-quality protein with each meal. So that could be chicken, that could be fish, that could be eggs, that could be some sort of dairy like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, some sort of good, high-quality protein. And if you do this, make sure that every meal starts with that. Then one, you're going to provide your body with the protein that it needs and the amino acids that it needs to provide adequate protein synthesis and to prevent your body from breaking down and losing muscle tissue. So it'll help to keep you in a positive nitrogen balance so that you're maximizing your recovery, maximizing your strength, building lean muscle tissue, which also helps to increase your metabolism, increase your fat burning. But it's going to fill you up, because when you fill up your belly with that protein, it's going to prevent you from overeating the other foods afterwards. So start with the protein. Make sure to get that in you first, and then eat your carbohydrates. And this is a great way to naturally limit the amount of carbohydrates you consume without going on a low-carb diet or without feeling like you're depriving yourself. By simply filling up on protein first, taking the edge off your hunger with that high-quality protein food, then eating the carbohydrates afterwards, you'll naturally get full and satiated much quicker. Whereas if you did it the other way around, say you started with your carbohydrates first, you could easily overeat the carbohydrates and then not have enough room for the protein, right? Like that's a common mistake that a lot of people make. They'll fill up on the pasta or the processed foods or whatever, and then they have very little room for the protein. We want to reverse it. Like, I'm not telling you to eliminate foods or go on some restrictive starvation diet or anything like that. All I'm saying is just reverse the order of your meals, so you start with the protein first. Get in a good quality serving of protein, and ideally shoot for a minimum of 30 grams of protein per meal. Like, that's a good benchmark to shoot for. Now, if you're bigger, like over 200 pounds, you can push that upwards of like 40 or 50 grams of protein per meal. If you're under 200 pounds, maybe in that 30 grams of protein per meal would be ideal. But minimum 30 grams of protein per meal, and have that as the first thing that you eat, and then fill up on the carbohydrates afterwards. And this strategy will not only help to curb your hunger, ensure that you're getting your adequate protein, but it'll move you in the right direction towards your fitness and fat loss goals. So that is your homework assignment for this week. Every single meal, starting your very next meal, right? So as soon as this video is over, your very next meal, make sure to start with a serving of protein as the first thing that you eat. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead and eat the carbohydrates and whatever other foods you have afterwards. And a bonus tip, if you can't consume solid food protein, have protein supplements. This is where protein powders and protein bars and things like that can come into play. Because I know a lot of people say, well, first thing in the morning when I'm rushing out the door to get to work, I don't have time to cook up, eggs, chicken, fish, meat, whatever. This is when you can have a protein shake. This is my habit. Like, if I can't have solid food protein, then I'm going to have supplemental protein. Now, it's not going to have the same eating satiation benefits, but it's still going to help to provide your body with the raw materials it needs, the protein that it needs, so that you put yourself in that natural anabolic state and you're not breaking down your own muscle tissue for protein. And it will help to, over the long term, control your appetite, because you're not getting into that going prolonged periods of time without having anything in your system. Right? You don't want to get into that state where you fast all day long and then binge in the evening. I'd rather you have small, frequent meals throughout the day, and making sure that protein is with each of those meals, because that's going to stabilize your appetite, stabilize your blood sugar and everything else, and prevent you from having that big binge in the evening. So if you can't have solid food protein, that's when you can have the supplemental protein in the form of like a protein powder or a good high quality protein bar. That's when those options fit in really nicely for convenience. But ideally, more often than not, try and choose the natural unprocessed foods whenever possible. All right, so that's your action step. Hopefully you found it helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback about this, feel free to post those down in the comments below, and we'll chat about it down there. And of course, if you haven't already done so, go back and check out the previous videos in the First Step to Fat Loss series. And make sure to subscribe to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel, because I'm going to be adding a lot more videos that'll help you with your fitness and fat loss goals. And if you would like some help with a customized workout and nutrition program to reach your personal goals, whether that's building lean muscle, burning body fat, or achieving some sort of sport-specific goal, feel free to reach out to me. All right, you can contact me personally at leeh@leehayward.com. That's my personal email address. You can reach out to me through there, and we can have a chat through email and see if we can come up with an action plan that will be right for you and reaching your personal fitness goals. All right, guys, I'm going to clue it up. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Take care. Over and out.